In this video, I'm going to share with you my methodology that allows me to turn 90% of conversations I have with potential clients into customers who happily buy from me. And secondly, this methodology allows me to charge 3, maybe 4 times what many other hypnotherapists are charging. And people pay that without question. I cannot remember the last time somebody challenged me about my prices. So if you'd like to understand more about that methodology and how you can maybe use that methodology, please carry on to watch this video. So hypnotherapists hate selling. That's my experience. Most hypnotherapists hate selling. They feel very uncomfortable with the whole concept because it's associated with being pushy, being aggressive, being in your face. It's not comfortable. But here's the thing. Hypnotherapists are actually the best salespeople in the world. We are great salespeople because we do all the things we need to do to make people comfortable, to get great results, changes in their lives. But we don't see that. We don't see that because I can almost guarantee that the way you feel about sales, about how selling is wrong. It's wrong. It is not correct. And you might think, well, I see lots of people selling like that. And there are lots of salespeople trying to be pushy, that used car stereotype, even people who are selling hypnotherapy training, hypnotherapy marketing, teaching you to grow their business. They're teaching you very aggressive, pushy, up and at them kind of techniques. And why are they doing that? Because they don't actually understand what selling is about. They are wrong. Not only are they wrong, but this doesn't work. This type of approach doesn't work. So who am I to tell you that your understanding of what sales really is wrong? So I'm Jonathan Butler. I am a co-founder of Boost Academy, helping people grow their hypnotherapy practices. I am a successful hypnotherapist, running my own busy practice. But before I did this, for 25 years, I worked in sales. I've actually spent probably a year and a half of my life in sales training. I've been a salesperson, a sales manager, sales director, president of sales, sales transformation consultant. I think there isn't much that I don't know about sales. And all of that time has been spent selling high value professional services that many other people in the market are offering, but that I've, throughout that career, been able to sell more work at higher value than all of my competitors. So what have I learned during that time? What I have learned is that what people think sales is not sales, because those techniques do not work. And all the best salespeople I know who you meet are not pushy. They are not that kind of person. In fact, most salespeople who are really good, you wouldn't even think they are a salesperson, because here's the reality that pushy sales pushes people away. You turn people off. They back off. They do not buy. Great salespeople realize that selling is creating a pull where people want to come from you, because the reality is people don't like to be sold to, but they do love to buy. So the first thing you need to do is really forget what you think about sales for 2 reasons. One is because that is not sales. And secondly, that you need to understand, I'm sure you do already, but you really need to take on board that selling is necessary, because in building a successful hypnotherapy practice, there are 3 key steps you need to take. And the first of those is you need to establish a brand that represents you and that's going to appeal to your ideal audience, so you get the right kind of people coming to you. Then you need to put in place your offerings that you make available to those people, that give them the support, the services that they need. And then you move on to your outreach, your marketing. So when your brand's right, your offering's right, your outreach marketing is right, you will be drawing people towards you who are going to come into contact with you, maybe with an email, but ideally people coming onto a video call, maybe a phone call, maybe in person, but they're coming into a direct contact with you. And that's when the selling starts. And again, let's stop thinking about sales as that dirty word, because we are doing it all the time. When we're running a hypnotherapy session with a client, in a limited amount of time, we are very quickly going through a sales process with them. We're getting them comfortable. We're helping them to trust us. We're getting them to understand. We're getting to understand quickly what their issue is, and we're moving quickly towards a solution that they're happy with. That is great selling. So you're already doing this. So you're already naturally a brilliant salesperson, and you don't need to be pushy. So if you're engaged in pushy type marketing, pushy type selling, I can almost guarantee you that's not working. And if you take a different approach, you are going to be more successful in your business, and you're going to have a lot more happy, high-paying clients. So sales is not what you think it is. Sales is necessary. Sales is a methodology, just like we do in our hypnosis, in our hypnotherapy sessions. We have a methodology that we take people through on a journey. So let me tell you about the sales methodology that I've used, that I've learned over those 25 years, and I've applied and tweaked and made appropriate to hypnotherapy. So the first stage is establishing rapport, just like we do in a hypnotherapy session. We need to quickly come onto that call, into that meeting, get people feeling comfortable and relaxed with us. So that should be really easy for hypnotherapists. We're already good at it. We need to be relaxed. We need to be calm. We need to be inspiring confidence, making that first impression with somebody. So establish rapport. It's the number one step in sales, because if you get that wrong, you've switched people off before you even open your mouth. Certainly before you start trying to sell them and take them forward on anything. So step one is you establish rapport. Step two that you move into very, very quickly is what's called establishing business purpose, which is about why you're here. So if you're on a discovery call or strategy call, whatever you want to call it, you need to establish business purpose. Just like in your hypnotherapy session, you need to tell people how things are going to run. You need to get them comfortable with what you're going to do, get them into the process. So making them comfortable while taking control. So you establish your business purpose, what you're here to do on this call, what we need to cover, how long we've got, how we're going to run the session, basically what the agenda is for that session. So taking control, that's really, really important. Once the person's comfortable with you, they also want to feel confident in you. So you need to take control to show them you know what you're doing, and you've done this many times over. So that, again, that is quick that you do that. Then you establish what's the mode of buyer. What is a mode? People have buying modes. What mode is that person in? Are they in a mild interest, would just like to know more about what you do? Or are they in the point where they really want to buy? They've got an issue, they want help, they're really interested in what you do. And if you're doing your branding, you're offering your marketing right, by the time people come on a call to you, they should already be pretty warm. They should know what you're about, have a good feeling that you might be the right person. And this is confirmation in this call. So you're establishing that business purpose. So if somebody comes on that call, I will ask them, how did you find out about me? I might ask them, what do you know about what I do? Their answer to that question will tell me so much about what buying mode they're in, okay? Where they found me, how they got to me. I will know whether they're a warm buyer, whether I need to do a lot of warming up, a lot of explanation about the real basics of what I do, or whether they're ready to buy, and we can move through the call at a different pace. So once we've established that mode of buyer, where they're at, we know how to pace the rest of the call, we then need to go into understanding their pain. So it's really important early on, we've told them this is the way we're going to run it. This is the agenda. They'll have the chance to ask questions, but then you need to get them to tell you what's happening for them. Get them talking. And again, you need to control that, because obviously we know some people will talk all day, some people will be one-word answers, but we need to control that. We need to understand what's happening for them, what are their issues, when did it all start, and control that, and then take it into the next stage, which is what do you see your future looking like? If you could go from where you are now to where you want to be, what does that look like? What does that feel like for you? Okay, so getting to start visualizing that future, the two of you visualizing that future together. And then you've got a pretty clear picture of where they want to get to, which will obviously help set you up in the session that you do. So you're already effectively moving you're moving from discovery into solution when you do that, when you're talking about the future. So the clients already at that point imagining themselves having worked with you or working with you, seeing what their future life is like. So when you've done that stage, you then need to move into your proof points. And you might want to talk a little bit about the methodology, depends. So if somebody came to me about maybe working on eating disorders, I might well say, actually, well, the methodology I used was specifically designed for this, and it was working with particular celebrities back in the 90s, That's a good credibility point. But I quickly get into talking about my stories. And separate subject, but you need to understand storytelling. That's another key part of what we do in Boost. Teach you how to tell your story and your stories, because we all have lots of stories. So you need to talk about your stories of clients you've helped, where they started, where you got them to. Maybe talk about your own experiences. If you work in your own experience, not everyone wants to do this, but I am fairly open about talking about my own lived experiences and what that journey has looked like for me, because that's a great bonding for people. You're still keeping a boundary, but you are sharing with them. And again, you're building that trust, that understanding, that confidence. So you need to tell stories about clients you've worked with, where they were coming from, what the issues were. Obviously, this is all anonymized, but about how you've taken that journey and what results they've got, what they can expect, and maybe the warts and all, because it's not always a plain sale. So you tell those stories, and you're really engaging the client then, because if you're telling those stories, you're good at telling those stories, you're bringing people with you. And then at that point, people will have decided whether they want to work with you or not. And what I find usually then is when I move into saying, you got any questions? What would you like? What can I tell you? What would you like to ask me? People usually come up with one of two questions, which is, how much is it, if they don't already know? Or when can we start? What do we need to do to get it moving? And that happens in most of the calls that I have, because I've got them to that point where they're comfortable with me, they're comfortable with what I do, they're comfortable with my proof points that I can help them, and they want to move ahead and do it. So what you notice is in that, I'm not pushing, I'm not saying to them. When they get to that point, I never say, let's book it now, I've got a special offer, nothing like that. When they get to that point, I will say, yes, if you'd like to go ahead, if you feel it's the right thing for you, the next step is to book a date in the diary. I'm usually booking X amount of time ahead. Let's get that in, let me know what you want to do. And I do step back. I don't push, I don't try and close them at that point. And when you step back, what happens, like in life, like in a conversation, people step in. They step into that space because they're brought into you. And most people will then say, can we put something in the diary? Can we make that happen now? So that's the sales process that I go through. Many, many similarities with the process that you use in actually running a session. So my sales-free selling system is natural for hypnotherapists. And again, you'll notice in this, the questions I ask, most people might ask me about the price, but I cannot remember the last time somebody challenged me about my prices. When I had much lower prices, and when I first started doing this, when I started listening to other people about how they should market hypnotherapy, I got much more objections about prices. I got much less conversions. But now I use what I really know, what I've really learned. I get 90% of people saying, let's go ahead. I'd like to do it. When can we start? How do I pay? Okay. So if you'd like to do that, we in Boost Academy have a course. We have several options for that. So please look on our website if you'd like to know more about how this works. But the thoughts I'd like to leave you with is that rethink how you think about sales, because sales is not what you think it is. It is not what a lot of people are teaching. Real sales is very much like the process of what you are doing in running a hypnotherapy practice. That's what we teach in Boost Academy, because it works, because it's comfortable for you, because people like it. So I hope you found that really interesting and helpful. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thanks.